world. It's been a couple of days. John and Pierre back again with another beverage ramble. And today, beer ramble. And today we're looking at Utica Club Pilsener Lager Beer from FX Matt Brewing Company, based in Utica, New York. They are the fourth oldest family-owned brewery in the country. I'm sure number one would be the folks DJ Yingling and Sons, or Yingling. This beer is 5% alcohol by volume, 16-ounce can, courtesy of my dear friend Patrick up in Connecticut. Thank you, my friend, for sending me this beer. Gets poor scores all around on Beer Advocate, the Alston Brothers, the Bros, and of course, Rate Beer. So who cares what they have to say? But first time having this beer. The brewery, I said, started brewing beer back in 1888. This beer came out in 1933. Like many companies during that time, they were successful brewing beer, doing all these different things. And then Prohibition happened, and stay afloat, they made soft drinks and other products and things like that. So then after that, they went back into doing beer. So the breweries, while this is considered their popular beer, the brewery has also have the popular more retro, if you will, but their Saranac line is more popular, but we'll get to that later. But anyway, here's a look at the beer, what it looks like. Typical standard lager, as you can see. Nothing fancy. There's a very little head, you can see up top right here. So, onto the scent. I get some sense of some corn, some barley malts definitely in this. Brewed with the best quality malt, grains, and choice hops, absolutely pure. The first beer sold in the United States after Prohibition. I got something to say on that, and I'll get to that later. It's not a rant. Maybe it might be a rant, I guess. Depends on how you look at it. Definitely sell some of those malts right there, and maybe some hints of rice, but definitely some malts in this. Ain't bad, so standard lager. But anyway, I've had this in the fridge for maybe a few days, so a couple of days. I've been wanting to do reviews. There's been so much crap going on in my personal life right now that I've just haven't really paid much attention to it. So, oh well. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this consistent. But anyway, here we go. Down the hatch. Cheers. Mm. 16-ounce can. Thanks, Pat, for it. Appreciate the can. There it is. It's decent. Nothing bad about it. Really. I mean, it is. Some may view it as a retro beer, true budget beer, but definitely get some of the grains in this. It's a nice size can. I really like the can. I like the artwork on the can too. Who's the lady on this one? And it looks quite pretty. Uh, West End Brewery still has the West End Brewing name on it, but it's really part of the FX Matt Brewery company. But definitely get a lot of malts. Definitely get a lot of grains. They're just in some choice hops on it, but you know, it has a lot better flavor than most adjunct lagers, to me at least. So, this ain't bad. More in my can. All right. So, a little history about the brewery, as I mentioned. Again, 5% the beer is. Yeah, I said it was the first beer sold after Prohibition. The famous comedian Jonathan Winters did some commercials for the company. Schultz and Dooley, and two beer steins or steins, they would talk to each other, and that sort of kind of helped with some of the sales. For a 1 year period between 2004 2005, their sales went up almost to 9%. And I think many were looking at them as sort of the same as, PBR, of course, the whole retro scene, which PBR kind of, in my opinion, I remember when I was living up there, PBR really began to start early on. Um, uh, Probably maybe in the late 90s, 2000, 2001, it really began to grow in popularity. Then I remember I went to a bar with a guy I used to work with, and we would go and get a lot of PBRs, and would buy them. They were like real cheap, but they were quite good. And I remember seeing them, and then again the whole retro scene, and they began to, you know, the brewery began to realize there was a big niche for it. They didn't do a lot of commercials. They were mostly on a lot of public radio stations and things like that, doing kind of promoting themselves and word of mouth. And people, college kids, were like, I'm on a budget right now. Let's pass the hat around. You know, pass the hat. Get some change. And PBR was pretty the cheapest thing, or that, or maybe this was also inexpensive and cheap. Ooh, what's that? Yeah, that beer. You know, so um, so things really helped the brewery pretty well. But overall, um, you know, um, the Saranac line is probably the more popular line, and I would say that maybe the Utica Club maybe considered as their budget line beer. Excuse me, and which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm one who likes, I like cheap. I'm looking for something inexpensive so I can enjoy and have. Um, and I'm not gonna break the bank. I know some people I could share this with. Maybe my coworkers I could share this beer with. They probably would like it. And we like beer, but I'm sure I'm going to a dinner party at a club. What the, and like everything. What the fuck is this shit you're bringing in? What the. So there you go. There's the thing. This is all right. There's nothing negative about it. My good friends, Mr. Terrio, this past summer was on his road trip. He went up to upstate New York, and he and another beer reviewer, Maria Devine, mm, uh, they went to the brewery, did a tour, and then they were sampling a lot of beers. And Unica Club was the light, so they had this here, they had the Pilsener, and they all were enjoying it. It was a pretty cool trip, which I wouldn't mind, going for from time to time. But that would be pretty cool. But it kind of gave it a very good review. And again, I don't understand the reviews that Beer Advocate and Rate Beer and even the Bros would give it. I think this is a pretty good lager. I mean, there's nothing bad or horrible about it at all. I think it's quite good, but everybody has their own opinion. You can't make everybody happy. So, I don't have a little better flavor now, a little more pungent kick ass flavor now. since I had this in the refrigerator. So, same bad. I'm gonna be kind. I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it's okay. Ain't great, but it's okay. And if I live in back home, I probably would buy this. Again, it's probably more sold in the New York area than it is here. But I can get this. To have more and more of just to chill. And enjoy. Um, so that's kind of how my view of it is. So if you had the Utica Club Pilsner Lager beer, again, introduced in 1933, and you feel this is pretty good, and I'm giving the score a 7, you think it deserves a higher score or less, let me know. Give me your thoughts and your opinions on it. But I think this is a really, really just a sensational, very enjoyable brew. I mean, very enjoyable to brew to have. Is it great? No, but it's good enough that it will get you where you need a home with friends and family, and just hanging around, just chilling in the yard, just taking it easy. So that's my thought. 7 score. So leave your thoughts and comments on the bottom of the screen. John and Pierre, the Beer Ramble, to keep on watching, and as always, cheers.